So I'm back in the garage here. Let's might as well get started on this Gen 4 Viper. We'll get it up on jack stands, get the wheels off, and start working on the front. I think probably today I'll get the fronts done, and then maybe tomorrow I'll finish up and do the rears. It's a pretty straightforward process. I'm not really making an instructional how-to video, more of just for your guys' entertainment, just so you kind of see what goes into working on these cars. They're pretty straightforward. I mean, there's not much to them, but just if you're working on one yourself, just take your time, and there's lots of information on the internet, so if you get stuck, you can always look something up. But I'll make a quick video just so you guys can see the process, and hopefully help somebody out in the future. Let's get going. Alright, so we've got the wheel off here, off the front passenger side. Next thing we got to do is we got to take the wheel liner out. And the shock is pretty easy to get off. You've got one bolt on top, and then you've got another bolt on the bottom. And but the reason why you need to take the liner out is because that's the only way to get the actual shock out. And then we also have our little access panel here for our front fog light, because we need to get in there to do those LED fog lights that he got. So we might as well do that at the same time while we have the fronts apart. Having a look at the brakes and everything, the brakes are in good shape. Those rotors look brand new. Calipers are in good shape. Quick comparison with my Gen 3. Mine's got some aftermarket drilled and slotted rotors on it. So just for everything else is the same caliper, but from the factory they just come with solid rotors like those, just to give you guys an idea what it's supposed to look like. So let's continue on, and we'll pull this liner out. All right, so moving right along here. In order to get the bottom bolt out for the shock, we actually have to get the sway bar end link out of the way. So I went ahead and did the sway bar on both sides. I pulled the wheel off on the driver's side. So that's the only way to get these end links off, is you have to disconnect the sway bar. Otherwise, the other end will hold it in place. So once you get them unbolted on the top and the bottom, these just kind of pull out. So, and you can see that these are just shot completely. So hopefully there will be some in stock locally tomorrow that we can pick up. So now with that end link out of the way, we can get this shock bolt out, and then so we've got the bolt out, so that'll let us move the shock around. We'll get the top bolt out completely, and then so there's the top bolt, way longer than the bottom. So now the shock is free in there, and you kind of just lift it out of the way like so. Nice and simple. And now we'll get our coilover out of the box. We'll get it preset, and we'll put it back in there. All right, so I've got the new Aldan shock out of the box here. I was trying to figure out what to set the preload settings on the shocks for, like rebound and compression. Didn't really find much online. I think I'll just set them halfway. So the bottom has 6 settings. They're labeled 1 through 6. I set the bottom to 3. In the top, I spun the knob and I counted it. It's got 10 clicks in total. So I set it halfway at 5 clicks. So we can set it at that and then give it a try, see how he likes the ride, and adjust from there. So these should go in pretty easily. I'll put the bottom bolt in the other way so that in the future you don't have to remove the sway bar end link to get the bolt out. But it'll take me a couple minutes just to put this back in, and we can move on to the other side. All right, so I've got the new shock in place, got the bolts tightened up, top and bottom, and I also mentioned that I'm going to replace the factory fog lights with the LED ones. So you just take this access panel off here, and then the fog light housing is held in place. I believe there are 2, I think they're 8mm bolts, 2 or 3, there's 3 total, yeah. So 3 8mm bolts holds the entire housing in. You pull this harness off, and then the whole thing comes out. I did notice that it looks like somebody's taken it out before. It's labeled R, and there's some overspray on it. So I wonder if this bumper has been resprayed before. I didn't think this car had any accidents or anything, but maybe it had a bumper painted at one point. Anyway, nevertheless, let's take this fog light out, and we'll put a new LED one in. All right, so I've got the factory fog light out here. So this just comes out with the housing. And it's the only thing that holds it in is this screw here that goes through the spring, and that adjusts the height of it up and down. So this is the new LED one. It's the same shape as the factory one. It comes with new screws and springs, but I'm pretty sure that on my car I just reused the old factory screw and spring. And it also comes with the factory style plugs, so it's really plug and play. I'll have to double check again. I don't remember which wire lines up with the factory positive. I'll do a quick test and find out. But otherwise, it's pretty straightforward. Just unscrew the screw. I believe I measured it last time, so I'll probably do the same thing again. So I'll just set it at the exact same height as the stock one. That way these will be aimed the same way, and they won't blind anybody when they're on. So I'll go ahead and swap these out and get ready to put them back in the car. All right, so I've got the new fog light in there. Just reconnected everything. So the red wire on the fog light, it should line up with the factory white and red, and then the black goes to black. So you just snap the connectors into the new housing, connect the two together, put the bolts back in, and as you can see, that's the new fog light. It's on and it's working just fine. So we'll go ahead and button this side back up, put our wheel aligner back in, and we'll move on to the other side. All right, so working on the driver's side, I've already went ahead and got the shock out. I've got it on the ground here. This one's pretty dirty, pretty greasy. I don't know if the shock itself is leaking or it's just grease from the other suspension components here. As you can tell, the top ball joint is completely destroyed. All the grease is out of it. The sway bar and link is gone. The controller arm bushings are pretty much the same as the other side. They're all pretty dry and cracked. So, and I don't know how the bottom bushing looks. Not great. It's also pretty greasy. So realistically, this car should get all new control arms at the front. I don't know. These bushings may be able to get replaced. I don't know if you can get new ones right now. These ones definitely seem that they come out, the front ones. So, well, we'll have to do some research and see if we can get a hold of some new control arms. And actually on this side, I started taking the wheel well liner out, and I didn't really need to, so I kind of stopped. I was able to get the top bolt out just fine with the liner in place. So I'll go ahead and put the new shock back in. But I mean, chances are it's all gonna have to get taken apart again, because like I say, all of these suspension components should probably be replaced. But in any event, let's get the side front shock in, and we'll put that back together, and then we'll also do the side fog light. We'll open up that access cover and get that fog light out.